I'm doing my absolute best. Technical issue, comma, full restart of the computer and we're back in business, period. Everybody, if you're just finding the video again, which you're not at this point, because it's still taking a second to catch up. Are we live on From the Bottom of the Rabbit Hole, which is all that matters to me? Yes, I am. If you are not live on From the Bottom of the Rabbit Hole, we're back. From the Bottom of the Rabbit Hole needs to be your default place to go, man. If you're just joining us now, we had some technical issues that I'm still dealing with. 9 fucking viewers, and they shut me down. They were like, you know what? Fuck this. Hey, everybody. I'm glad to see some people coming back. Drop a comment in so I can see if it's working. Kenny Costas liked the stream. Thank you, bud. I'm posting the YouTube link on From the Bottom of the Rabbit Hole. And I'm going to share that as well. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Miss you, David Fortin. We should put our goggles and masks on and get together sometime soon. Ralph Bruno was like the stream. Thank you, bud. You guys are all back on Facebook, and I appreciate it, but serious technical issues, comma, here's the YouTube stream, period. Oh, God. It says serious. Like, serious radio. Everybody, welcome back. Listen, you need to, I just realized the most solid stream you're going to find on FromTheBottomOfTheRabbitHole.com YouTube chat. It works well. One of these two comments showed up. One did not. Ray V on YouTube did not show up on the website. That sucks. Why is that? I appreciate whoever just liked the stream, by the way. Jamie has liked the stream. I love it. Well, guys, it looks like YouTube chat might be broken. So I don't know what they're doing to me tonight. Every time I stream over 5 hours or over 4 hours, I have some kind of issue. I've never had a successful stream hit 5 hours to my knowledge. But as I'm looking right now, let's see if this test. Did it show up? We'll find out. No. I was commenting on YouTube and it wasn't showing up, so I switched back to Facebook. You're right. I'm having issues with the comments on YouTube. So you know what? Go watch the Facebook video to contribute. Go to Bottom of the Rabbit Hole if you don't want to. I appreciate it either way. I don't want to reset this again because maybe if I go like this. It takes a minute for my comments to go through YouTube. I'm seeing them, Steve. But I just refreshed my chat. Let's see if this helps. Last time I did this, I had nothing but problems. Well, let's hope this is not an issue, guys. So, let's go back to Lefty Ralph's video. Where, again, even still, what he's going to say, I've already been telling everyone what he's saying. And what the guy is saying is very simple. What the guy is saying is, Steve LaFontaine has liked the stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We are going back to Facebook primarily. YouTube is there as a resource if this doesn't work out. But what this guy is basically saying right now.
Pandemic. Watch it from that prism.
Watch it from that prism.
Watch what they're doing. The filmmaker who's done films about like the Mayan apocalypse and other shit like that has an agenda. The woman has an agenda, and they will then pull little bits of things out of context to.
So they have an agenda. Yes, to let people know that they're using this virus to take our freedoms. That's the agenda. Just like there's a communist agenda in hiding it, the same way they did in China. So again, this guy is discrediting. He's not discrediting all the information. He's discrediting that one interview with that one lady, which, again, this was also 2 months ago. So I'd be surprised if this guy thinks the same way. But the bottom line is, Ralph, you're a registered Republican. Hey, whatever you do, don't go vote at the primaries. I think that might be illegal. I don't know if it's illegal, but I thought about that. I was like, what if I registered as a Democrat so I could vote for the worst possible Democrat has the worst chance of winning? Boston Marathon bomber death sentence overturned. I did not hear about that, but I don't know too much about it. I mean, if he was a plant, then that sounds like something they would do if that was a false flag operation. That's my opinion, you know? But again, like Ralph Bruno said, like this guy's saying, there are two types of people, okay? There are the sheep people who think that, I'm not even finished watching because this guy's fucking, let's hear him talk for 2 more minutes and I'm shutting him off. But the bottom line is this, there's sheep people who don't think anyone's lying to them. They believe everything that they see on TV is real. The government's a shit show. They can't lie to you. They can't even do their job. The CIA is not the deep state. There's no any sort of, messed up things going on. They're just bad. They're a shit show is how he describes it. And then there's the other group of people that actually reviews all of the information and says, you have to discredit this information. Critical thinking is not, let me believe what they tell me. Because again, that's called believing the programming. What he's basically saying is, re-watch this, but remember your programming when you re-watch it, and then your programming will discredit this in your mind. It won't allow you to accept the information. Whereas if you don't have that programming and you watch it with an open mind, yes, there are two types of people, Ralph. There are people, okay, Ralph, let me ask you a question, you fool. If there are two types of people who believe the government's lying to them and people who don't, what's the third type, you fucking goof? Come on now, think before you fucking speak. When I say something, make sure you're paying attention to what the fuck I said. Yes, there are two types of people, because again, when it comes to an absolute, that's a yes or no, you believe they're lying or they're not. There's no third option. He can say maybe they're lying. If you think maybe they're lying, you think they might be lying to you. Two types of people. You think they might be lying to you, or you believe everything they say. And if there's a middle ground where you only believe them half the time when it's convenient for you, those are the most gullible sheep. So yes, that is my theory on the matter. And by the way, this is extremely unfortunate that I don't have comments active on YouTube right now. It's bothering me. It's like pissing me off that this is happening. I might can this stream in like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and redo it again after we've chilled for a bit. But right now, we have 10 people here. What's going on, everybody? If you're on YouTube, I apologize because the comments aren't working for some reason. If you're on Facebook, they're working great. I'm seeing your YouTube comments, but they're not showing up on the screen, unfortunately. But I welcome everyone to the channel. Let's listen to what this guy say that, again, if you believe the government, because that's basically what he's saying. If you believe the government, you're a ridiculous. If you believe that the government's lying to you and the media is lying to you, you're a ridiculous person.
Back this agenda. And anybody who questions it, they're just like, oh, this poor person is a fucking shill, or they just haven't been woke. They haven't woke up, sheeple. Wake up, sheeple. And in some ways, it's very sad because there's an underlying current of disconnection and loneliness in the conspiracy crowd, right? So if you go and look at my video, it has all these negative comments and yet 2.5 million views. Why? Because for the positive crowd, they just watch it and they're like, yeah, I knew that shit was bullshit, right? For people on the fence, they go,
here we go. I want to hear what Steve has to say. The problem with that dude is he's lumping all conspiracies together. I've been studying conspiracies for over 20 years. Can vouch. Over the past 7 or 8 years, conspiracies have become popular culture, which means that every dummy who thinks the world is flat and the moon is made out of cheese have access to the same info as I do and have no discernment at all as far as how to pick it apart and pick apart the nonsense or useful info to disseminate. Yes, Steve, I agree, except for the fact that you also read a lot of books, which is something that a lot of these goofs don't do. So it makes all of us look like idiots. The dude is right about it in a sense. The people I'm talking about are what he's describing, but that isn't everyone or every conspiracy, but he's still generalizing it. He's not telling me why this is not true. He's basically still saying, though, at the end of the day, that if you believe that something like this is possible and you don't think that these people making the documentary have an agenda, then you're a fool. But just because they have an agenda, their agenda is this is what you're being lied about. It doesn't change the lies and the information in there. It doesn't mean that because you know they have agenda, all of a sudden the lies don't exist. The information held within doesn't exist. He's not saying that. He's basically saying, like you said, why do people believe in conspiracies?
Oh, I wonder what Z-Dog thinks about this video. Oh, he just said it's horseshit. That's enough for me because I've seen enough of Z-Dog's critical thinking that he doesn't need to debunk it point by point. He linked to that. Now when people mail it to me, I can just send them his video or say, no, that's bullshit, right? But then there's a conspiracy theorist. And they're just like, wait, what? And they have a need to actually comment. He's a shill. He's a fucking paid off. He's ugly. His fans are idiots. Who calls a doctor Z-Dog, right? Now, see, watch what happens. It's all emotional response. Just like my video itself was an emotional response. Because I'm so fucking tired of hearing the same conspiracy shit.
When's he gonna give an example and disprove? Agreed, Steve, 100%.
People are like,
everyone thought Epstein was a conspiracy theory, and people
I know, I get that.
who thought Clinton went with underage girls was also a conspiracy theory. Now it's coming out. Correct, Rob.
Shit that comes out, everyone's like, I don't know what to think about this, and sends it to you. And you're like, how about this? How about we teach you how to critically think, how to recognize your own emotional bias, and then filter that and go, you know what? Oh, okay, I think I know what I feel about this. And then I'll ask, hey, I think this about this. Do you agree? Yeah, you're right. You got it right. Or no, you know what? You missed something here, which is this. That's a back and forth I'd love to have. That's not how it works, though. It's not how it works. I had a lot of really smart medical people who bought that video, who thought it was accurate and were sending it to me like, hey, you got to show people this. And I'm like, you got to show people better critical thinking. And so I was pissed when I made that video. And I didn't think anyone was going to watch it. I was just like, let me vent for a second. And then 2.5 million views, right? Anyways, let's see where we're at here. Thanks for corralling a few elephants, Mike Sullivan. Right. Mike's referring to that emotional elephant.
Oh, this guy's taking, all right.
So the question is, how do you
taking comments,
fight
I'm done
back
with this guy.
against this kind of... Now, hold on.
All right, here's my thoughts on this guy. This guy can say whatever he wants, but the bottom line is this. If you doubt that he clearly has an emotional bias himself, yes, he does. Here's the thing that you can't debate, okay? The government and the media will conspire together to lie to you. This was evidenced in 9/11, okay? Period. Yeah, I think we all have some emotional bias. Some have more than others. Some try as hard as they can to not let emotions come into play, because if that was the case, trust me, I wanted to believe that the coronavirus was bullshit since the beginning. I promise you, I wanted to not worry about this. It was my emotional bias of saying, I need to believe this because what if my family dies? That's the emotional bias. But my intelligent, my common sense, he refers to as the elephant, and he's referring to it as a negative thing. Guess what? Your elephant, what he's referring to as an elephant, or whatever the fuck it was, which basically, again, I disagree with a lot of what he's saying being like, the elephant is the negative and the emotional. First of all, I base all my decisions based on show it to me. I want to see it. Prove it to me. Show me the things I need to see to make me believe this. I'm not an easy person to convince of anything, as every single person watching this video right now knows for a fact. I want to know, are threats things coming up? Agreed, Steve, 100%. Threats is not coming up. Okay, so let me read threats. Rami, you're on YouTube. You got to come on Facebook to have your comments heard. When's he going to give an example and disprove? He's not, Rami. He already decided to go to comments. Everyone thought Epstein was a conspiracy theory and went with underage girls, and now it's also coming out. You said that. He has emotional bias. I think we all do. It's science. You're not a doctor. He never said it was negative. Okay. It's science? The elephant inside of me in science? I'm not a doctor. So tell me more about this scientific breakdown of what you feel is science about how I think, Ralph. Tell me more about my emotions and me based on animals. And tell me how that's science. So again, I'm letting you know, maybe then me, okay, fuck everybody else, me, that I'm telling you I make all decisions with show me this. I want to see it, okay? I wanted to believe, like I said, that the coronavirus was bullshit because I wanted to be the one telling people, hey, we have other shit to worry about. There is other shit going on right now in 2020 that we should be focusing on, not locking people down and staying in our house and being scared of a virus. But at the end of the day, I was like, hey, if my family dies, this is a bad thing. A problem with conspiracies is we always say the government because there's no other word. It's the CIA, Steve, the deep state. But other word for it, but it's not the government. It's elements within the government being used by people more powerful than the government. Correct. The intelligence agencies. The CIA can operate under secrecy so severe that not even the president has access to what they review, what they do. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is, it's the actors within the government in these intelligence agencies that are shrouded by secrecy, that are shrouded by confidentiality. And that's how they're able to act. And they've infiltrated through things that we've already found. It's not the CIA. Explain, Steve, because I'm disagreeing with you on that one and saying that at least the CIA is an arm of theirs. There's no way I will not believe that it has nothing to do with the CIA simply because of all of the agencies that I've seen. I'm sorry, all of the declassified programs that they're running that are in effect today. You're not being seen, unfortunately, Slime, but from Ryan. Ralph, how do you know that doctors are human and they could be wrong? Just like you say, doctors preaching zinc and hydroxychloroquine are wrong. And it's not the CIA because it's not everyone with the CIA. No, you're right. I get that. There are patriots in the CIA as well. But what I'm saying is there are actors, like you said, unfortunate actors, and fine, fair enough, all intelligence agencies. People who work under the guise of confidentiality in intelligence agencies as part of negative programs, also having their strings pulled by other people who own global power. If we're going to really talk about who's actually pulling the strings, we're talking about central bankers. We're talking about Rothschild, Rockefeller, the Koch brothers, the Vanderbilts, possibly the top level, maybe not Vanderbilts. I think they're just wealthy. I don't think they're central bankers. But those families who control so much wealth, not even money, but wealth, because they actually fund entire civilizations, societies. They're the ones pulling the strings, but it's being operated and carried out by the CIA, Steve. I mean, how Operation Mockingbird, if you're talking to me about what the core problem is, it's the media. And the media's problem is the propaganda. And the propaganda comes from things like Operation Mockingbird, manipulating the public, operating in secret because of where the light gets shined. This is being manipulated to some degree by the CIA. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Educate me, but I'm disagreeing with you on that one. My point is saying that the government or the CIA causes confusion to people who aren't sophisticated enough to understand the nuance. Yes, but what I'm saying is these programs, okay, yes, I can agree with you on that, but to say that they're not operating under the CIA, that the CIA isn't an important weapon and tool for them, and that they would fight to protect the CIA if it was going to get disbanded, there would be heavy obstruction to that, because that is an absolutely key piece for them to be able to do what they're doing today. All of the intelligence agencies, though, not just the CIA. If you eliminated 2 of them and kept 10 of them, you're not going to make a dent. All of that, the NSA, the CIA, all of them, they're all being, again, like, I agree with what you're saying because it's an overall structure, but if you're asking me how people are manipulated, I'm going to point to the CIA over most. Ryan Pitts, by the way, because he's still on YouTube. The only thing your doctors are not looking to be right, they're looking to keep their pockets full by treating COVID and getting those big insurance payoffs, is I'm assuming what he's saying. It's generally not the CIA from the top. It's black ops. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. But nonetheless, they're using technology and shit that was developed by the CIA. There's no way Operation Paperclip, bringing that shit into America, Operation Mockingbird with affecting the media and indoctrinating our country, pretty much. I believe, but like you said, it's black ops. It's teams even more secret than just the CIA themselves. It's people who operate under extreme secrecy and extreme confidentiality. That's the word I was looking for. But again, that's that word, which I believe roughly sums up a lot of what you're saying, isn't even the deep state. The deep state is definitely a word that people use, but it's, like you said, it's infiltrated. I'm going to call them communists. If you're asking me what they are, my opinion is communists have infiltrated our system. Marxists have infiltrated our system. And they are not out for the good of America. And that is the situation that we are in now. And I do believe that they're, like you said, not the CIA from the top. Fair enough. Although it was, you go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, and when you had guys like Comey running the FBI and whoever it was running the CIA, I'm assuming that they were people who were much less patriotic Americans than we probably have in there today, 4 years into a Trump presidency, if I had to add my 2 cents to that, Steve. But also, welcome here, everybody. I'm actually really fucking pissed at this entire situation right now because these fucking YouTube comments aren't showing up, and we had a great stream for almost 5 hours, and now I'm dealing with problems of not having YouTube videos show up in comments, so it's pissing me off. But I'm going to get over it because what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look for a couple other things. Which, by the way, oh, look at this. See? They're showing up here. Show. Message is held for review. I hate dumb people who try to be smart, a.k.a. this dingus. Threats. He's also saying people get emotional on conspiracy when it's the other way around. He's making these comments, wanting responses, saying people are fucking idiots, uneducated, stupid. Yes, I completely agree. That's what I took from it. He's discrediting them personally, as opposed to actually discrediting the information that they're saying, which doesn't do me any good. But I'm going to go over here and go to YouTube. Because instead of us sitting here and looking through documents and watching me read, which is going to be boring as fuck. Why'd I do that? Let's look for Maxwell documents released. This is it? Oh no. Today. Unsealed court documents show. All right, I definitely don't want anything from the mainstream media on this. Official name drops. Unsealed. I don't want this guy. I want a better fucking video. Somebody sent me one on TikTok. It was a fucking minute long. And it gave me a ton of information. And I was like, that was fucking great. You know what? Let's do this. Let's get right to the point. Here's what we really want to know about, right? Let's go like this. Today. Because these things are like 24 hours old or less. Robert De Niro being implicated. Oh, here we go. Tim Pool. 12 hours ago. Clear Donald Trump. Which is what I knew about already. But let's see what Tim Pool has to say. You know what they say about him? He's too cool for pool. I'm going to go like this too, man. I'm fucking really mad about this shit. I got to figure out how to fucking edit my settings. Why the fuck are comments not showing up? Connected accounts. Playback and performance. Advanced settings. I mean, I don't even know if I should be going through my settings with you guys on live stream. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I shouldn't be. This is not good. Let's play this video, guys. Over here. Let's take a look. Sorry, peeps. Late freaking work.
Let me vent for a second. and then 2.5 million views, right? Anyway.
I read the docs, Bri. I know I'm playing a video right now of someone kind of going through them, and then we can verify that it's real. I want to see what AJ is writing about today. I completely agree, Steve. That is where we're going shortly. I want to watch this video, seeing about the documents, even though Alex Jones is probably talking about the documents as well. And I did promise some Alex Jones tonight, so we're definitely going to make that happen. By 10:30, we'll have Alex Jones on the stream ranting right here in this box that you see me in. We're going to sit back and listen. Bill Clinton made trips. Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew said she had performed sex acts. She said under the guise of a massage. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I bet it's a setting in whatever stream program. No, I turned on a comment blocker on YouTube, unfortunately. I did it. It was like, because people were making comments on the other videos dropping porn sites. So I thought they were talking about that. I should have fucking known, and now I feel like a jackass. I actually said to him, like, watch me regret this on stream that I fucking edited this and I changed it, and they're going to be like, oh, censorship. But I did it so we didn't have porn links that are going to get my videos removed. But apparently they didn't remove the porn links, but they did remove people's comments, which is horseshit. Thankfully, they're not doing that on Facebook, to my knowledge.
It's going to be a very difficult story to go through for several reasons. For one, the level of complexity, and more importantly, the fact that YouTube has insane rules and probably isn't going to be too happy that I'm going to be telling you, according to new documents in the Epstein case, Bill Clinton is being directly implicated, and it would seem that Donald Trump is actually being cleared of some accusations. Now, many people probably not surprised by this, but thanks to the work of Mike Cernovich and investigative reporter Julie K. Brown, we are now getting to read the actual documents, and there's some really, I'll just call it interesting. Again, I don't want to pretend to be able to go through all of the intricacies and complexities of this story. I'll just read for you.
I just want to say that, first of all, before we go any further, it's a conspiracy theory to believe that Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And just like that last guy said, you are a fucking idiot and you're stupid and you're a moron if you believe it. Because the government is too haphazardly acting. They're too much of a shit show to do something secretive. The sound on the video sucks. That might be just me. Let me turn it up. Is it my voice sucks, you guys? Or is it this guy's video sucks?
What we're seeing and how people feel about what's going on. But what you need to know is that Bill Clinton has been accused many times of being a part of the goings-on at Epstein's Island, to put it mildly. Now, Bill Clinton has denied this over and over again.
Better or worse?
Virginia Giuffre has said he was there and with two young girls. And according to the documents that got released, she actually said...
Is it better?
I believe it's not her. Someone else was saying that. I don't remember seeing Donald Trump there at all. And if he was there, he briefly stopped over at some place in Florida and then left. There's actually
no, Ralph. 2 years ago it was a conspiracy. 5 years ago it was a conspiracy. 15 years ago it was a conspiracy. Now it's the truth.
Really good news for Trump so far, and really, really bad news for the Clintons. And I just want to point something out because of the complexity of this story. I know YouTube may actually ban this, so I have to be I'm walking on eggshells here. You get this. But people talk about these conspiracy theories involving, Bill Clinton and Epstein and all that. And it's interesting to me that...
No, it's not better, Steve.
We've had these implications over and over again, these accusations.
This is the conspiracy, okay? This is the evidence people are talking about. Newsweek, Fox News, several other outlets are now reporting on this. The documents have been released. And the crazy thing is apparently the FBI actually had evidence of Prince Andrew's involvement. That's according to the documents as well, at least according to Virginia Giuffre's statement. So let's try to very carefully walk through what's going on, and I'll do my best, but you've been warned. This is, again, we're on YouTube, so I'm doing the best I can. Newsweek reports, Bill Clinton went to Epstein's Island with two young girls, Virginia Giuffre says. In recently unsealed court documents involving Epstein and his alleged accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman named Virginia Giuffre, who publicly accused Epstein of trafficking, said that she once saw former Democratic President Bill Clinton on Epstein's Island with two young girls from New York. In the questioning by lawyer Jack Scarola, Giuffre was asked, Do you have any recollection of Jeffrey Epstein specifically telling you that Bill Clinton owes me favors? Yes, I do, Giuffre answered. It was a laugh, though. He would laugh it off, you know. I remember asking Jeffrey, what's Bill Clinton doing here on Epstein's Island? Kind of thing. And he laughed it off and said, well, he owes me favors. He never told me what favors they were, Giuffre continued. I never knew. I didn't know if he was serious. It was just a joke. He told me a long time ago that everyone owes him favors. They're all in each other's pockets. Shortly thereafter, Scarola asked, where were the group love events? Were they a regular occurrence on the island? And Giuffre responded, yes. Scarola then asked if she was ever present with Epstein and Clinton on the island. Ghislaine, Emmy, another girl who was allegedly a regular, and there was 2 young girls that I could identify. I never really knew them well anyways. It was just 2 girls from New York, Giuffre answered, and said they were all staying on Epstein's house on the island. Epstein had multiple ties to Clinton, and this is linking to another Newsweek story about the flight logs for Epstein. Along with many other big-name celebrities, was a repeated passenger on Epstein's private Boeing 727 plane, which was nicknamed. Okay, we're getting real careful here. I'm gonna move on from this paragraph before this video gets banned. In 2002, Epstein hosted Clinton, as well as actors Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker.
I'm muting
on
this
a 2002 tour of Africa associated with the Clinton
during
Foundation.
the video.
Epstein called Clinton the world's greatest politician in a 2002 New York Magazine article in which President Donald Trump mentioned Epstein's predilection for girls on the younger side. Clinton praised Epstein. In 2015, the now defunct pop culture and news website Gawker released the flight logbooks for Epstein's Gulfstream and the Lolita Express 727. Clinton is listed as having taken at least 11 flights on this plane. In one flight, Clinton allegedly flew with, this is going to get banned, right? Whatever. An adult actress listed under massages. In Epstein's address book on all 11 flights, he rode with Maxwell and Epstein's former assistant, Sarah Kellen. Kellen has been accused in court filings of recruiting young girls on Epstein's behalf. On multiple flights, additional women who flew with Clinton are either listed by only their first name or as simply as female. A 2019 statement from the Clinton Foundation claimed that Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes of Epstein, pleaded guilty to adding, knows nothing of the crimes he pleaded guilty to, adding, Clinton took a total of 4 trips. Staff, supporters of the foundation, and a Secret Service detail traveled. Staff, supporters of the foundation, and his Secret Service detail traveled on every trip, the statement continued. He has not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade, and he has never been to Little St. James Island. Okay, I'm doing my best here. Bear with me, but I got to give a shout out to, this is from Newsweek, and this was reported just the other day. They say, Ghislaine Maxwell loses bid to block court from unsealing documents. They say, despite Preska's order of releasing the documents Thursday, she gave Maxwell's attorney 2 days to seek a stay from an appeals court from allowing her court to release other documents tied to litigation from the Miami Herald and Michael Cernovich. And there you go. Credit where credit is due. A lot of people in the media want to go after Mike Cernovich, particularly the Julie K. Brown from the Miami Herald. I'm not entirely sure if they go after her in much the same way, but they try to claim all of the worst possible things about Cernovich. Whatever you want to think about the guy, he gets credit for this. That's a fact. So we have this story also from Fox News. The reason I'm showing you this is just so you know, Newsweek is rather left. Okay, Fox News, of course, is right wing. We've got it coming from everybody here. Bill Clinton visited Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Unsealed court documents suggest. Maxwell's lawyers tried to prevent the documents from being released. Let's take a look at some of the actual documents. First, I want to show you this from Technofog. These are just some select tweets that I've pulled up to give you some context. This is not an exhaustive list of everything. Technofog says, remember that famous Prince Andrew photo with Ghislaine Maxwell and the victim? The FBI had their own copy for years, even before the victim's 2011 FBI interview. The FBI knew, they always knew. Prince Andrew had been implicated in this. He's been in I'll just call it serious trouble. And now, as much as they tried to deny it, he even tried claiming it was Photoshop. We have this. This is from Virginia Giuffre, May 3rd, 2016. Question: where is the original photograph that has been widely circulated in the press of you with Prince Andrew? I probably still have it, she says. I'm not saying I have a photographic memory, but if I'd look at the back of the photo, I remember what it says. I believe it was March 2001. Question: did the photograph ever leave your possession? Answer: I gave it to the FBI. Question: okay, and when did you get it back? From Virginia, when they took copies of it. When was that? 2011. When they came to interview you? Yes. So from 2011 until you left Colorado, it was in your personal possession? Yes. They had it before, it would seem. I wonder what the FBI was doing. Now, I want to point some interesting things out. There was a federal prosecutor at the Southern District of New York who was essentially fired, forced out. Bill Barr announced this guy was resigning. The guy was like, no, I'm not. And then Bill Barr was like, then we're firing you. Get out. Shortly after this, Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested. This prosecutor was working there when Epstein, lost his life. We'll put it that way. There is something happening here, to say the least. Now, as most of you know, I prefer to deal with facts and confirmation. I don't want to speculate as to what this may or may not mean, and I want to make sure I point this out. These are statements from one witness so far. I believe we have statements from another witness. I'm not entirely sure. I'm being very, very careful and taking a very, very light approach to how I'm covering this to make sure that you can get access to this surface level information without me getting banned and without going too deep into any potential conspiracies. This is what's being publicly released in actual witness statements. But you need to understand a witness statement isn't necessarily
I just want to add here, because Steve mentioned it, this video was put out today. Yes, this information was released in 2016. That is correct. However, not all of it was. Some of it was released. Yesterday, more of it was released. So this is an extremely new video. As you can see by the date here, which is why I did this, from today, July 31st, 2020. Today for at least another hour and 40 minutes.
Confirmation. It's just corroboration, okay, or circumstantial evidence. The fact that Bill Clinton has been directly implicated by a victim is very serious, especially if we're going to play the game of believing the women. Now, the other thing that needs to be pointed out, this is totally bipartisan. I am seeing progressives across the board being like, lock up Bill Clinton. We don't care. Who cares about Bill Clinton? However, when it comes to Donald Trump, I think the left isn't going to like what comes next. Here we have this news snippet somebody posted on Twitter. I'm not sure what it is or where it's from, but somebody posted this, and they're referencing it specifically to a witness statement that was made. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't have the source on this. Quote, she was very fake. She turned away from me when we were introduced by Ghislaine and Jeffrey. Donald Trump was also a good friend of Jeffrey's. He didn't partake in adult activities with any of us, but he flirted with me. He'd laugh and tell Jeffrey, you've got the life. Palm Beach police say Epstein seemed utterly unfazed by the allegations against him when they began their long, detailed investigation. Now I want to show you this. Someone tweeted, boom, there it is, no Trump. So this is, it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like another witness statement. I believe it's from Virginia. Yes, it is. From Virginia Giuffre, 11/14/2016. Here's what's said. Question. What is the basis for your statement that Donald Trump is a good friend of Jeffrey's? Jeffrey told me that Donald Trump is a good friend of his. Question. But you've never observed them together. Answer. No. Not that I can actually remember. I mean, not off the top of my head, no. Question. When did Donald Trump flirt with you? Virginia says, he didn't. That's what's inaccurate. Question. Did you ever see Donald Trump at Jeffrey's home? Answer. Not that I can remember. On his island? Not that I can remember. In New Mexico? No, not that I can remember. In New York? Not that I can remember. Question. All right. If you could turn to the second page and read through those, let me know if any of those are accurate. So this is apparently from page 1919 of 2024, and it purports to show that Virginia could not recall a single instance of Donald Trump actually being in any of these places. Apparently there's some other statements that I guess in Florida, Donald Trump had shown up and like hung out in the kitchen and had some food and then left and never stayed. When it was brought up that, I think I actually might have the tweet, I'm not entirely sure. Saw this too. Okay, so no, this is the same thing. There was maybe it's here we go. No, I don't know exactly where it is, but the general idea is that Donald Trump didn't require anything from anybody else because he was rich himself. So when people are saying things like he would hang out with Epstein, the argument, I suppose, is that he would never stay at the place in Florida because he had his own massage parlor and spa. That was something that was brought up. Let me see what else I have. Here we go. I do have it. Trump is cleared according to Juan Alessi. So I'm not sure exactly where this document comes from. Again, this is all like a bunch of documents being released. People are on Twitter speculating. So I want to make sure that you take this all with a grain of salt. This should be, hopefully what I'm giving you is enough for you to maybe do a Google search and start digging into this. The reason why I'm taking a very, very light approach, again, for the 50 millionth time, is that we are dealing with very, very complicated and serious matters. And I want to make sure I'm not making hard, definitive statements because there's too much we don't know, and we have to follow the facts to their conclusion. I think it's fair to say, however, we know what Epstein...
I just realized I was unmuted and you guys were having the echo for a second, and I apologize. I just want to jump in and say that, again, this is pretty wild stuff. You know, a lot of people, a lot of eyes on it, which is why you're seeing so much about it. A lot of eyes, a lot of attention on it. People doing the research, digging through the documents, finding this stuff. And yeah, I mean, I feel this is quite interesting. I don't know what he's saying that's like going to get him banned. So because I don't want to get thrown off either, and I don't want to get our stream cut off, I'm going to not comment as much and let him do the talking, because if something's happening and he's already treading it, I don't want to make it worse.
Had been doing, that Bill Clinton has been implicated several times. We now have Fox News and Newsweek saying, look at these witness statements. You combine the witness statements with the flight logs, I think it's fair to say Bill Clinton is lying. Straight up. So here's what was brought up. They say, did he have massages when he was there? Yes, a massage was like a treat for everybody. If they want it, we call the massage and they have a massage. Now, Mr. Trump had a home in Palm Beach, correct? Uh-huh. So he didn't come and stay there, did he? No, never. He would come for a meal. Answer, he would come have dinner. He never sat at the table. He eat with me in the kitchen. Did he ever have massages while he was there? No, because he's got his own spa. Well, there you go. That's another important point. I'm going to carefully move forward. And we have this. This is the same statement. This tweet says, even when it's there in black and white, sadly, those with Trump derangement syndrome still won't realize he is out to get the traffickers like Ghislaine Maxwell and the pedos like Nasty, Dershowitz, and Bill Clinton. FBI had them in 2014. Obama, Comey did nothing. So once again, there's the statement saying, when did Donald Trump flirt with you? He didn't. That's what's inaccurate. So we're going to skip over. I'm going to show you this. This is one of the most difficult segments I've ever had to produce. I've had to get rid of a ton of information. I'll probably have to blur this. I swear I'm going to have to blur this because otherwise YouTube could just suppress the whole thing. Trust in media is -5. I'm showing you this for a reason.
Okay. Just to answer the question, Ralph, why would this get censored? If I had to assume the reason why, it's because this is part of an ongoing investigation. And because of that, people have to be careful, possibly, in making accusations against people based on this information, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. So until I go ahead and try to reset this to get YouTube to work again, I am myself even going to refrain from doing things like this.
Reason. But now I want to highlight this last story from July 4th. Rose McGowan calls for arrests of Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, following Ghislaine Maxwell's FBI capture. The British royal and former POTUS have been accused of running in Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Notice, I mean, maybe she did mention, okay, apparently no, she didn't mention Donald Trump. Maybe she has in the past. I don't know. Let me try and give you a few minutes now, break down a little bit here. There's a lot of people on the left and the right that are absolutely hyper-focused on this, trying to figure out what's going on. And I think a lot of people are very, very focused on this. Again, this is a very, very difficult segment to produce. However, the left believes Donald Trump and Bill Barr are trying to cover this up. The right believes it's probably the Clintons or, powerful interests. I do not believe the left is correct in their assessment in accusing Donald Trump of wrongdoing. I don't. I actually think, based on everything we've seen, Bill Barr and Donald Trump are actually trying to bring these people down. The reason for it is,
patients. What are you talking
first
about?
I'll point out that fired Southern District of New York prosecutor, if this prosecutor was on the job when Epstein was arrested and put in jail, and then Epstein lost his life, I'll put it that way, then it stands to reason, that whoever, like the people involved, should be removed if they're going to be moving forward, because you don't know who you can trust. There's no reason for Bill Barr to get. So here's what the left has said. They've said that Bill Barr was trying to get rid of this guy so they could protect themselves during the Epstein case, to stop this strong and anti-Trump, anti-corruption prosecutor from revealing Trump's dark secrets. And I don't believe it. I really don't, because they had him on with Epstein, in which case it stands to reason, more so in my opinion, they didn't trust him. I don't know for sure, man. I don't know what else is going to come out of this, but I will say, Mike Cernovich has been digging into it. He's the one who got a lot of these documents released in the first place, along with efforts from Julie K. Brown. There are some really strange goings on, to say the very least. But I believe when you look at, there are some memes that go around about the amount of traffickers who've been arrested, and way more under Donald Trump than the previous administration. I also want to point out that Bill Barr was the Attorney General back in 1991 to 93, I believe. It seems like they're trying to clean up this really disgusting, seedy underbelly, all that stuff. Look, Bill Barr was the AG before Clinton. So we could be looking at a circumstance where after H.W. Bush, who I'm not saying I like the guy at all, but Barr served under him. After that administration left and the Clintons came in, then began widespread corruption. I mean, look, we know what Bill Clinton was doing in the Oval Office. So when you tell me he's on the flight logs, and I got a witness putting him there, I'm gonna believe it. I am.
Turn my volume up a lot.
And so what does that mean? I'll tell you what,
but the point I'm trying to make is,
very, very careful
she's
about my
victim.
choice of language. There are conspiracy theories that people have about high-profile politicians. You have to absolutely avoid
if she's crazy, it's because she was driven crazy.
And the fake posts. They will try to taint the story, and they've done it successfully.
Still?
There have been leaked emails from WikiLeaks, which are very strange. All of a sudden, a bunch of people start spreading fake.
All right, guys. I am going to make a request right now because I'm hearing some problems with my voice, and you're probably going to tell me it's fine now. But I'm going to fix all the problems that we have immediately because there are issues on this stream. It's full blast. That's my point, and I'm screaming. So, here's what I'm going to do. I ask all 8 of you on whatever device you're watching to go to fromthebottomoftherabbithole.com and hit refresh. I am going to be back in less than 3 minutes. I am going to have this whole thing up and running, and all the problems are going to be resolved. Okay? Once you get it up and once you see it's on, you can go find it on Facebook, go find it anywhere, but it's going to come up first on fromthebottomoftherabbithole.com. I'm doing a reset, and I'm going to make this work. Britney making some strange posts, exactly. I believe that, again, she was a child star. So, again, because she was a child star, I believe even more so with Britney, because you know what happens with these kids inside of Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I believe she was a fucking victim, too. I believe these fucking Hollywood people because they're fucking victims because this fucking industry is crazy. Fucking the world is crazy. But give me 5 minutes. Not even. Give me 2 minutes. I am ending the stream. I am restarting the program. And we're back in business. I just need 2 minutes to be able to make it happen. So join me on fromthebottomoftherabbithole.com. That's where you're going to get the stream first. If you want to go to Facebook, fine. If you want to go anywhere else, fine. But that's what we're doing. Boys and girls, be safe.